watching ESPN on ABC.
Welcome back, everybody, here in Tallahassee, the home of Florida State. 74 degrees Saturday. Beautiful day. Not so far for Florida State. Florida's got the 14-0 lead at the half. We welcome you back. I'm Gary Thorne, Andre Ware, Todd Harris down on the field with us. Listen, even though Florida State's offense has been almost non-existent, one score, and they're right back in the game.
Right back in the football game. Two big plays by this Florida offense has Florida State trailing 14-0. If they could just generate anything offensively to get some points, they're going to get themselves back in this ball game.
Go ahead, let's take a look at
I'm looking at what do you say at halftime if you're Coach Bowden? And I think it's more of, you got to have some pride. This is your home stadium. These are the fans here. You owe something to the guys that have worn this uniform before you. So come out and give me some effort in the second half.
All right, we'll see whether or not that can happen as we are ready to go here in the second half. And Florida State will be kicking off here as Florida's going to get that football first. They do not want to return, so it is grounded all the way down to the 5, 3, and at the 2-yard line where it's finally picked up, and it worked. Down to the 7-yard line. So they decided with Brandon James back there, not wanting him to return it, to put it along the ground. Here is Pacific Life game summary.
Well, you look at it and just nothing really in the pass department, rushing yards, and we talked about it, 15-2-1 are the teams that win the rush battle, usually win this football game. Right now, just being totally dominated on the grounds. Florida, 113 yards rushing in the first half of this game.
Florida State defense now will go to work and try and get the football back. Florida wants to get that big score early in the third to try and put this thing away. We have seen all four quarterbacks. Lee's had a big day. That's going to be completed and down at the 19-yard line to Andre Caldwell. Todd Harris.
Well, Gary, first and foremost, I talked with Coach Urban Meyer at Florida and asked him how Percy Harvin was. He said he's fine. He was in the locker room moving around. The problem was he went numb in his upper body, his upper shoulder area, and so they took x-rays precautions. Obviously, he is done for the day. Asked him out how his team was playing, what he thought. He said, you know what, all in all, our point coming into this game was keeping their great athletes in front of us. We've done that. He'd like to see better execution, though, in the red zone. Gary?
All right, let's see what they do here in a second down and short yardage with the football in the backfield. That'll be brought up for the first down to the 22. That is Wynn on the carry for Florida. In the rushing department, Wynn with 8 carries and 8 yards in that first half, and now we got another one down on the field. Boy, this has been a game. There has been no flow to this football game because of penalties and because of injuries.
Yeah, you see just a nice little counter play, and it didn't look like much. Didn't look like he took a big shot there, and following his fullback, Billy Lasco, into the hole, protects the football, and well, I didn't see very much there, but Deshaun Wynn's still down.
And they've also got Drew Miller, a right guard, limping off the field for Florida. So 2 injuries on that play. There's Miller. He came out of that line. He is a junior guard and pulled himself off the field. Wow. And that's just the start here of the second half. Tonight, ESPN2 and ESPN offer up 2 important college football games. On ESPN2 at 4:15, number 12, Boise State takes on the Nevada Wolfpack. ESPN 7:45 Eastern, number 20, Wake Forest. They'll meet the Maryland Terrapins with a spot in the ACC championship game on the line. Rivalry Week presented by Remington on ESPN, ESPN2 Saturday. So a hand for Deshaun Wynn, who leaves the field. Drew Miller and he are both off. A lineman and a running back. Florida got the first down, though. It is first down and 10. Chris Leak in there at quarterback. Leak, 9 out of 16, 153 yards in the first half. Wants to carry it. Gets hit, gets away, gets hit, flags down at the 20-yard line. That is Tebow, and Lawrence Timmons moved in to put the hit on.
Lawrence Timmons showed up, and one thing you knew coming out of halftime was this Florida State defense. They were going to come out to play this second half. And right now, they're all over the field against Florida. Gave up a first down, but they're a big shot to Tim Tebow.
Holding, offense number 42. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll replay the down.
Well, we'll watch Tebow on the run, but listen for the lick by Lawrence Timmons. Ouch.
He is their leading tackler for a loss. He's had 5 sacks. He's tied for the lead in pass breakups. He is a tremendous football player. Now Leak is back in the game.
We talk about Tebow liking to run the football. I didn't like getting hit, nor running the football back in the day.
All right, a first down and 20 from their own 10. This is Leak. Gets in the pocket, gets it away as he gets hit. He just threw it away. The defense was all over him. So you had Tebow come in and try and run for a first down, get tagged for a loss. Leak comes in to try and pass for a first down. It's incomplete.
Yeah, they just try to throw what was equivalent to what we call a smash route, where there's a little underneath route at about 6 yards and a corner route over the top. And they're going to roll Chris Leak to it, but nowhere to go with the football. Florida State had it just manned up on defense very well, and Chris Leak nowhere to go. But what do you do with the smart thing? Throw it in the stands and come back on second down.
Mercy, a second down and 20. They'll try it again with 4 receivers to that left side, including the back in motion. And he's going to carry it to the 10.
I'll tell you right now, Florida is giving Florida State a chance to get back in this football game emotionally. This is a pressure-packed game, a rivalry game, and right now the best unit on your football team has gotten themselves involved. You're playing way behind the down and distance markers, and Florida State, look out. If they can hold here, they're going to have some excellent field position to start this second half.
That was Everett Brown, the defensive end, 99, who came in on that last play. A third down and 21 for Florida. Third down conversions. They are 4 out of 8. Back near the goal line, up to the 5 league 10, 15 and out of bounds. Not even back to the original line of scrimmage. Good coverage, a 6-yard gain. And more good pressure put on in that backfield as this defense of Florida State came out a rumble in here in the second half for their coach, Mickey Andrews.
LaTroy Guyan, the sophomore defensive tackle, giving chase to Chris Leak. And Florida State, if they can capitalize somehow on this field position, they can get themselves back in this football game.
Wilbur has punted twice, averaging 39.5 yards. Chris Davis is back for Florida State. The kick's going to come from the 5. Well, how did he get that off? And it is a beauty. Hits at the 30 all the way back to the 19. Falls, dropped the football, but gets it back.
What a punt.
Kick. 64-yard kick. And no return. Chasing it backwards and almost popped up. Eric Wilbur with a 64-yard kick, not the longest of his career. He booted one for 75, his career high, but a great kick. Florida State gets the football, first down and 10, looking to go to the air, wide open at the 40-yard line, down to the 43. That is Brandon Warren, the tight end. Reggie Nelson on the hit after a 24-yard gain.
Boy, you talk about a shot in the arm, the tight end over the middle, and they like him a lot. 23 receptions on the season, right in the middle of the field. Drew Weatherford, and that will do wonders for his confidence.
And note this, in the first half for Florida State, they ran 27 plays. Only 2 went for 5 or more yards. They open up here with a big pass play. Weatherford, again, straight up the middle goes Lorenzo Booker, their leading ground gainer and carrier in this game, and he may get a yard on that one.
You know, it was funny about Brandon Warren, the tight end that caught the pass over the middle. He was actually the defensive player of the year in Tennessee, 87 tackles and 14 sacks his senior year, and then comes into Florida State and it gets inserted right into the starting lineup as a tight end on the offensive side. They really, really like him.
He has had now games in which he's had 6+ receptions 3 times this year. A second down and 9, Florida State. They need a score and they're right back in it. Weatherford's going to get tackled for a loss. It'll be back at the 36-yard line as Stephen Harris put the hit on. Let's check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Gary, it's getting to be serious for West Virginia, losing at home to South Florida, headed toward the 4th quarter. Matt Grothy's had a nice day for the Bulls here. He finds Ian Randolph, who does most of the work on a 21-yard catch and run. It's a 9-point game. South Carolina and Clemson, crazy. 6 turnovers 56 points, and they're even at 28.
Interesting football games.
Wow.
Being played here in rivalry week. All right, a big 3rd down and 16 as they'll work out of the shotgun. Drew Weatherford for Florida State. Gets the rush, lobs one down the sideline at the 30. It is intercepted by Reggie Nelson. His 5th interception of the season, and he may have hurt himself as he went down.
Yeah, he climbed the ladder for that interception. It's like you mentioned, his 5th, and we saw the big hit he had on Joe Surratt, the fullback, who was kind of exposed early in this football game by Drew Weatherford. But this one you look at, and it's 3rd down and long, and you're just trying to take a shot. It's almost as good as a punt. But the downside of it is that the emotional turn, the momentum, goes right back to Florida after the big play to Brandon Warren. Now you come up with a turnover and an interception. Not bad in the grand scheme of things, but the emotional side of what an interception does there is hurts you as a football team.
Reggie Nelson is a finalist for the Nagurski Award, Best Defensive Player Award. He is the Jim Thorpe Award semifinalist for the best defensive back in the nation. And you saw nobody tackle him or anything, but when he made the interception, he came down very hard on that shoulder.
Yeah, Urban Meyer can't believe all the injuries so far in this game. We talked about Drew Miller, the right guard, trotting off the field, limping a little bit, and now his star safety, Reggie Nelson, out of Coffeyville Junior College, transferred in and having one heck of a season for Florida. He's down.
So the Weatherford on the interception. It is the 8th time this year he has been intercepted. Florida State again will give the football up, even though they did move it. In that 2nd quarter, the Florida State offense, their drives were for 7 yards, for -1, for 2, and for -24. So at least to start the 3rd quarter, we saw a little offense get going. But as has been the case throughout this football game, there is no rhythm. There is no flow, and it's largely been because of injuries and penalties. 14-0 Florida. Here in Tallahassee on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, number 4 Florida leading at 14-0. Caldwell on a 66-yard pass from Leak. Harvin on a 41-yard run have been the touchdowns. Florida State trying to pull the upset and take away any remaining hope for a BCS championship berth for Florida. They've got to get the offense going to do that. Florida's got the football 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And a fumble! And Florida State, I think, got it! It is the 2nd turnover of the game, and they come on consecutive plays. Nelson on the interception gave Florida the football. The fumble recovery by Kevin McNeil gives Florida State the football.
All right, and good football coaches try to capitalize on mistakes and turnovers or big plays in a football game. Right here, Florida State kind of Johnny on the spot right there and making recovering the fumble, so to speak, Kevin McNeil. But right now, look for Florida State to try to take a shot into the end zone here. You want to capitalize. You want to get yourself back in the football game. Don't try to run it. Florida shut down the middle of the field. Get to the outside edges out here in these one-on-one matchups.
Here's Drew Weatherford at quarterback. They're looking over the middle. It got tipped. Boy, that one could have been intercepted. Incomplete pass as he was trying to go over the middle with it, and it got bounced. Derek Harvey, the defensive end.
Well, you'll see him just get his hand on this baby. Drew Weatherford here, just outside and then back underneath, trying to go to the big tight end again, Brandon Warren. Derek Harvey with the big paw, knocking it down.
An outstanding football player, number 91, leads this team in sacks and tackles for a loss.
Yeah, he knows how to get to the passer.
It is a 2nd down and 10. Ball's at the 19-yard line. Weatherford out of the gun, and he's going to get it away at the 15-yard line. Inside the 10, Joslin Shaw, junior receiver with his first reception of the day. What a play by Weatherford for 11 yards.
Yeah, he was named the team's most improved wide receiver by this coaching staff coming out of spring practice. But how about the job by Drew Weatherford? Still keeping his eyes down the field and is able to locate Jocelyn Shaw. Now Florida State kind of operating at point-blank range here.
This is a great chance for State to get back into this game.
Absolutely.
Last 5 red zone trips for Florida State, they've scored only 2 touchdowns. Can they get one here? It is a first down and goal inside the 10-yard line. And it carried himself. Line of scrimmage, nowhere to go. Tackle made by Stephen Harris. And again, Weatherford is not a running quarterback. Todd Harris.
Well, all kinds of problems down here, as you pointed out, Gary. Injury problems. Right tackle Drew Miller is coming back for a second tape job on that right ankle. Deshaun Wynn, it's a left shoulder injury. Sat out the last series. They're trying to get him back in. They've got ice on the shoulder. And Reggie Nelson, he came out, basically got his bell rung. They gave him some aspirin. Kept wanting to come back in. They said, "Are you sure you're okay?" He said, "I'm fine." They said, "Are you sure we're going to hold you out one more play?" And he was just chomping at the bit to get on the sideline. Finally got the sideline. He's back in the game.
You just saw him out there. Here is Drew Weatherford on a second down and goal. And the 15, end zone, incomplete. And it had to be caught. Brandon Warren, even though he had to reach back, that ball's got to be caught.
And it was an easy read for Drew Weatherford because Brandon Warren wide open. The linebackers are trying to play inside. The middle of the field's wide open in here for the tight end. All you do is give him a catchable football as he clears the linebackers. And right there, Drew Weatherford, we talked about it, a guy that's just not playing with a lot of confidence right now.
So it'll bring up a third down. A third down and goal. 1 for 9 third down conversions. You know, here you got a couple of downs to work with. Big Greg Carr is split to the near side. He's their big guy for the alley-oop pass. That's where he's looking over the middle. Intercepted! Intercepted in the end zone, and down at the 1 is Tremaine McCollum. Weatherford intercepted for the second time in this game. They get nothing out of it.
Well, you never go over the middle of the field late, and you certainly don't force it. I thought he had Greg Carr coming underneath, and we just talked about it, Gary, a little while back, is that you have to give your playmakers an opportunity. Greg Carr is going to come underneath right in here, and Drew Weatherford skips him. There he is in the middle of your screen trying to force it to Chris Davis, but you have to allow your playmakers, get them the football and let them make plays with their legs, make play yards after the catch. You don't force it, especially late over the middle of the field.
McCollum with the interception. Now the Florida State fans want their defense to score with a safety with the ball at the 1-yard line. We've had 3 turnovers in the last 7 plays. Tebow is in at quarterback, the big running QB. He gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Boy, he barely